Hey people, it's Niall Stokey. Now this is from abc.net, Australia. Regional COVID-19 quarantine facility to be built near Wellcamp Airport in Queensland. The Queensland government is pushing ahead with its own regional dedicated COVID-19 quarantine facility. Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk, I don't know how to pronounce Polish names, announced on Thursday that Cabinet has approved the project on vacant land owned by Wagner Corporation just outside Toowoomba, west of Brisbane. The announcement came as the state recorded 2 new cases of COVID-19, both in hotel quarantine. Construction started at the site near Wellcamp Airport on Thursday. Just one thing here. It says 2 cases of it, both in hotel quarantine. It's almost like it's magic. It just sprouts out of nowhere, even with no contact with anyone. Construction started at the site near Wellcamp Airport on Thursday, with 500 beds to be available by the end of the year and a total capacity of 1,000 by March next year. Construction firm Wagner's first submitted the plan to use its Wellcamp Airport as a landing point for some of the Australians stranded overseas in January. The financial arrangements between the state government and the Wagner family will be commercial in confidence, but the state government has signed a 1-year lease with the option of extending 2 or 3 years. Our hotels were not built for the Delta strain of this virus, Ms. Palaszczuk said. This is going to be a great boost for our defense against the Delta virus in this country. In fact, I believe we need regional facilities right across the country. I've been advocating for this for a long time. It's a no-brainer. Deputy Premier Stephen Miles said he hoped the facility will prevent future lockdowns sparked by the virus leaking out of hotel quarantine. When you consider the last lockdown alone cost more than $1 billion in economic impact and compensation, you can see just what fantastic value it would be, he said. Much safer than non-purpose-built hotel quarantine. The federal government has made it clear that it would not pay for a quarantine facility at Wellcamp. In June, Prime Minister Scott Morrison said the site did not meet the criteria for a Commonwealth-funded quarantine compound because it was not within easy access of a passenger airport, terminal, or tertiary hospital. Did you hear that? So it's not actually near any hospital or anything, so it sounds like they're building it so it can be isolated. He knocked back the plan and instead proposed a facility at the Damascus Barracks, about 5 minutes drive from Brisbane Airport. A feasibility study by consultancy group AECOM founded the Pinkenba facility could be up and running for the first 500 travelers by March 31st, although some challenges pose a significant risk to this time frame, including modifying accommodation to mitigate aircraft noise. On Thursday, Mr. Morrison said despite the Wellcamp facility not meeting national guidelines, Ms. Palaszczuk had been at liberty to build the site for months. We made it very clear that the facility did not seek to meet the national guidelines, and that's why we're going forward together at Pinkenba, he said. They made that decision they could have done that months ago if that's what they wish to do, but it's good for them, and I wish them every success. Ms. Palaszczuk has previously said the federal government-funded Damascus facility as well as one at Wellcamp could eliminate the need for quarantine hotels. Health Minister Yvette Duff said, had the Wellcamp facility been built earlier, the Queensland government may not have had to pause arrivals from interstate hotspots for the next fortnight. If this had been built months ago when we first asked the Commonwealth to partner with us and the Wagners, we potentially may have not had to make the very difficult decision that we made on Wednesday, Ms. Duff said. Travellers could arrive for quarantine by bus. Mr. Miles once said the Wellcamp facility was operational. Travellers would be taken by bus to the site from Brisbane Airport if the Commonwealth government decided not to allow flights to land at Wellcamp Airport. We currently bus arriving travellers from Brisbane to hotel quarantine accommodation on the Gold and Sunshine Coast, and so that would remain an option to get people here safely, he said. The design is being modelled on the Howard Springs quarantine facility in the Northern Territory. Mr. Miles said there will be a mix of single, double, and family-sized rooms in the design of cabins, and all rooms will have balconies. Importantly, no hallway adjoining rooms which we have seen as vectors in hotel quarantine for the virus, Mr. Miles said. Travelers who test positive for the virus and require hospitalization will be transported to one of 5 hospitals in Queensland with COVID wards. Millionaire businessman John Wagner said the facility will create local jobs. Just by the fact that we have to produce 3,000 meals a day, the region will really benefit from this, he said. As a landlord of this facility to the Queensland government, we are working through the final design criteria to make sure that we have the best fit-for-purpose regional accommodation facility to return travellers that there is in the country or, in fact, the world. Sewage testing detects virus on Palm Island. Health authorities have detected COVID 19 in wastewater on Palm Island for a second time this week. Coronavirus was initially picked up in the island's sewerage system on Wednesday, but late Thursday afternoon, a second test came back positive. Ms. Daff said precautionary testing was being done on Palm Island, North Queensland, after sewage test results showed fragments of the virus that causes COVID 19. That could just be someone who is shedding who has the virus previously, but we're not aware of anyone on the island who is a former positive case, Ms. Daff said. What we have set up starting Thursday morning is extra capacity to ask every person on Palm Island who has any symptoms whatsoever to come forward and get tested so we can rule out that any positive cases there. Well, anyway, I finished this. So, most of my viewers and listeners are Tijuanian Black Americans, and you all know the drill. You know exactly what's going to happen. They have had situations in the past where they locked up Tijuanian Black Americans for whatever reason. Actually, loads of them are locked up. So it's not too far of a stretch of the imagination to say that this idea will be brought to America and quote unquote undesirables will be interred there for an indefinite amount of time. In fact, I think they were already planning it in New York as well. I'm sure I did a story on that a while back. Anyway, you know what to make of this. Please comment your thoughts. Peace.